Which brings us to a point. It brings us to that, what are you thinking about, like going back to the Gen X thing, because there's a little commentary about, I mean, I don't know if you spend much time watching the stuff on Gen X and whatnot, and we know that a lot of that stuff's true. But when you think back to our high school days in the 80s, I mean, what are some of the things that really bring that back for you, like nostalgia wise?
Man, there's so many.
Right?
Seeing kids riding bicycles,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. You
the
don't see it very much
people,
anymore.
Out here,
you
I'm
hear
surprised.
more often than not. Yeah. Hear more often than you did back in California.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I see stuff like that, I mean immediately, kids outside playing, football where you don't see it very often anymore. And
Setting up the baseball
it's
diamond in the
recreation.
middle of the street, and it's the tail light, these two
Oh
tail
yeah,
lights, and the and the
exactly.
and the sewer plug at the end is the home base,
There's
and
just not that
we
many
got
kids
chalk,
in the
and
same
yeah,
area.
yeah,
Yeah, when someone says, smear the queer, and you don't have to gasp,
yeah.
that you've made an offensive remark because that's just the way we played,
Smear the clear, man. That
Uh,
was the best game ever.
yeah. I think, stuff like that and you know, sounds so stupid. The multicolored Tupperware that we had back in the day.
Yeah,
You remember those that had like the
Oh
just
yeah.
dumb, Corningware? I
yeah,
mean, uh, I honestly, I mean, and every generation probably thinks this, but I honestly think that our generation, growing up was the best.
yeah,
Um, and I think for a lot of reasons, because our parents grew up on the heels of um, of World War II and Korea, and so that was, I'm sure, a constant reminder to them
yeah.
when they tried to be wasteful. And my dad's stories to me was his father didn't allow them to eat steak; they had to eat hot dogs when he ate steak because they just didn't have the money for everybody to eat steak.
Yeah.
You know, um, and yet I think for us, our parents having gone through all that, they did their very best to make sure that we had a lot of things that they didn't have, and they gave us a lot of freedoms um, to do a lot of things. And so I think our generation growing up the 80s, 70s and 80s, and it was just awesome.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's a lot
and
of freedom. I,
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in the river bottom. You guys grew up in Sky Country.
Well, same river bottom, going down there and playing
Yeah, you
riverboat.
go to the river bottom and you're exploring the river bottom, and
Good place to ditch school.
ditch
We used to
school.
ride our horses down there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
when I
Go
lived in Sky
across the way.
Country.
I lived right across the way at the trestle, right? And I could go across the street to the army surplus that I eventually ended up owning, right? And I would go there, and there'd be video games, right, that you could play. And remember Sears off of
Yeah,
down by Central. I went to
yeah,
Arlington Perpetual Help down there. I remember ditching in the morning, trying to avoid the nuns. I'd hide in the bushes for 7 a.m. mass, and they'd be looking for me. And
They could still whip your ass.
I know. Is there a statute of limitations?
Not with the church, no.
Yeah,
They could,
Sister Celeste is going to come after me with a chalk.
Bill and I could take you back there today and probably
I'd
get
probably
a free meal.
I'd probably get my
yeah.
hand.
So
I did.
I'll throw this out and see
Yeah.
if Todd remembers any of this. Okay. So again, when I first moved out there, we lived in Sky Country, right? And we lived in like the first phase, which was Mercury Court, and there was a corral, like an arena that was out there, and so I was in first grade, so 6, 7, right? And I would ride my horse by myself down to the corral,
On the horse
ride
path.
around the corral, huh?
On the horse path.
Yeah, on the horse paths, right?
Because we didn't have.
I would also ride my horse across Limonite, through the field next to the Stater Brothers. Behind the Stater Brothers was Powell's Market.
Before Stater Brothers.
Before Stater Brothers, where you could get a Coke for 25 cents or a Shasta for 15.
Mm-hmm.
And then back behind there was an entryway where you could take it down into the river bottom. Okay. First grade.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you played Little League after school, you'd walk out to Marlette Field, which is a baseball diamond.
Jason Warren.
And then you had, what's that?
Jason Warren lived right up the hill.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Field.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah. Talking about nostalgia stuff. I think there was a topic for that, but I think there was a topic for that, but I forgot what it was, and I ran off on a tangent.
Remember Hilltop Market? Didn't you work at Hilltop?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
I would ride my bike all the way from Harupa Hills to Hilltop, and it was right around the corner from her house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she was a little. Yeah,
they were right around the house, right around there. I knew her.
And Knowles Field was over there, the baseball field.
Yeah, and I remember going there. I would ride my bike all the way there, and I did it half the time. I would just you doing it for food.
Well,
he would go in and clean up the back end and give you food.
That was a long way to go from Harupa Hills to Hilltop.
No, it was, but it was like
the word has it that little mini mart across the street from Hilltop, that used to be a good place to do beer runs.
Yes, no, that was.
I don't know personally.
I know we were talking about our generation. So in the 80s, so that was first grade. Those were the things that we did in first grade, second grade, third grade. We were allowed to go all over the place. And yet, at the same time, our kids, there was no way I was going to let my freaking 7-year-old child ride a horse.
Seriously, 7th, 8th grade, I rode my bike. I mean, I went across all those fields down Limonite, down Mission, and I went all the way into Ontario because my cousin he was dating the girl that owned Roller City 2001 in Ontario, right?
And you would have
past Hellman, right? You go up past Hellman in Ontario, or in Rancho Cucamonga.
What's the name of that street out there, Bill?
There's an In and Out now on it, and it's right in front of the.
I would know by now. Yeah, I'd get lost.
Yeah.
You're talking about in Ontario?
Yeah, in Ontario.
On the way between Sky Country and Ontario, those back roads.
You had Euclid.
Euclid, yeah.
You had
go down Van Buren.
Hamner.
Yep.
Yeah, Hamner was one of the main ones.
And it was Guasi. There's a Guasi winery Mission that's right there, and I would cross across there, and I went all the way up past the Press I think it was a Press Enterprise, not the Press Enterprise. There's a newspaper right there off of that used to be where Ontario Mills Mall is. And I would go all the way up, go to Hellman.
The racetrack was there too.
The
Ontario Speedway.
Yeah, the Speedway. But I would go up there and I'd hit the Roller City, and that's where I would hang out up there, with that craziness, and ride all the way back.
Hey, so I have a question for you guys, changing the topic.
Yeah.
So I want to phrase this without being political, but where do you guys think that we as a generation fit in to today's society and possibly today's future?
I'm hoping that we're showing other people, because I've changed my viewpoints a lot over the last 10 years. I've always been way more conservative, but I have way less trust in what's going on day to day. And it's mostly from, I've learned you can find most rot by following the money.
Yeah.
And I think
of course
we have a lot of rot in our government.
Yeah.
Top to bottom, and both sides of the, I don't think that we are being properly represented, and haven't been probably for a long time, maybe even our entire lives. It's just we're able to see a lot more.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're out there enough, bitching about things enough, that younger generations start to question more as well. James and I were talking about this at lunch. We went to lunch today, and the thing that pisses me off about everything pisses me off, because I'm I'm the angry guy. I've always have been, but they always talk about, okay, we found the fraud. Look at all this fraud. Look at all this fraud. But nobody ever asks the question, okay, where's the money?
Well, why does nobody ever go to jail for the fraud?
Exactly.
Who got the money and where did it go? I want every time they say we found fraud, I want that every penny of that money followed to every person that touched it. I want their assets seized until we find answers. And we take that money and it goes back into the general fund. But I also want it done in 90 days. I don't want it done in 9 years. Because I think that's what they do. They can wear us out by time.
Sure.
Yeah, and I just on that point, I want to say this because I lean conservative and always have been. I think it comes from I think we're just very practical, right? If like I don't fucking care about most things. You want to get married, you want to be called this and all that stuff. That's fucking great. I don't care. When you start telling me how to do, when you start trying to dictate to me, then I'm very like anti that. Don't tell me. I think we have a rebellious streak where we just see things as they are and we smell bullshit like a mile away. And that's for most politicians. And if you're bullshitting, it's just I don't get it, right?
I was watching kind of the circus the other day when they were interviewing the whole Fauci thing, and the one thing that irritated me about it is
Archibald,
regardless of what you think of the guy, they're pounding about why he did X, Y, and Z, and but whatever happened to like where the whole thing originated from in the first place and how that was such a big topic, and all of a sudden, like boom, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares where it ever originated from. And the fact is because they already know. They already know where it came from, and it's probably everybody's country. Every the U.S., China, America, everybody was involved, or had a representative. So, going to your point, James. Funny thing, when growing up, I never paid attention to politics. We had a president. I thought, cool. This guy's a president, and to support him, and that's kind of how I always lived my life. Was support the guy who's running the place, and then I think you start paying a little bit more attention when it starts affecting you from a financial standpoint, different policies do, and or you see economies start to go down and stuff like that. And they kind of start paying attention a little more, or you start seeing certain things not change how you had liked them. Yeah. But I think to what you just said, Todd, I think our government is so large. And if you were to go to the beginning, I don't think they ever envisioned our government to ever get this large. Yeah. And I think that's kind of what certain people don't understand is our government was never supposed to get this large, to be as in control as it is. Yeah. Because by doing so, and because people are so reliant upon it for food, for money, for everything, that we have a tendency to believe everything that it says. Yeah. And like James said, we don't question enough. And reality is we probably should be questioning everything.
Well, I think our generation does question everything. We just haven't been paying attention.
Well, if we're questioning, if we're questioning it, then I don't think we do well enough, because I don't think our voices are actually out there being heard.
Well, where we come from, right? I was just explaining this to Lisa. There was
Riverside.
Well, no, the GenX thing, like where it all came from, because they asked the question, I think, in some big news article, and they said, which is the largest group, or which generation's the most ignored or not paid attention to. And we were never even listed as one of the generations, right? So it kind of answered its own question. And it's really because we haven't spoken up. And someone had a really good, the air in the room was taken by the boomers. There's so many of them. Mm-hmm. And the boomers were everything about the 60s and the 70s, and this was all going on and all this stuff. And then they start having arguments with the millennials, right? Which are like, I have a millennial child. He's like he's older. And then my youngest is Gen Z, right? So the boomers and them start having these arguments because politically and socially, the boomers were really involved. You have the whole 60s and 70s movement and all that stuff. They're the
Gen
ones
Z is
that
so big.
and then you have the millennials come on, and most of us were like, yeah, it's the boomers. They're our bosses. They're the ones we're working for. They make that's who that's who we're gonna be, and that's who we learn from. So we weren't really arguing with them that much. So we really didn't have this voice that was out there because we were living in we were just going on and doing our thing. And I think that's why we're kind of stuck in this middle point, and we're starting to wake up, I think, a little bit more because even the president right now is a boomer, right?
Well, at some
Yeah, he's a boomer. We still haven't had a Gen X president, which is amazing considering, we're getting into be in our mid to late 60s or mid to late 50s.
That's because they all know that we enjoyed the Reagan finger on the buttons for so many years. First it was holy shit, that guy's a cowboy, and then it was holy shit, is he all there?
Yeah.
So they were scared the whole time.
Hence that. What was that meme that Phil Collins song that had that kind of Plato-esque video, and part of it was Reagan, with his finger on the button. I forgot the name of what it was.
Oh, I remember it was like a claymation type.
Yeah, it was a claymation. Yeah,
right. And was it Phil Collins?
Yeah, it was Phil Collins.
I don't remember. I have the vision in my head. Maybe someone can tell us in chat what that video is. I'll have to look it up later.
Phil, what's in the inconspicuous drink container?
Coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So vodka. No. So
hey, that's what I just finished my espresso martini I made right before we got on.
Yeah.
So we were talking about James his need for Coke Zero. Mine's coffee. Ever since the military, dude, I've got a tumbler damn near 24/7. I don't care. You can tell me it's bad for me. It could be, arsenic. I wouldn't give a crap.
Yeah.
I'm still drinking it.
Yeah.
So one thing that we're trying to learn and get better on all these things, because we're old guys playing with things that we shouldn't be playing with. Tom Cochran came up with a hell of an idea that we both really like today, and it's for each person that's on, we want them to shout out and basically challenge at least one other person to get on here and do this.
Oh, so you're asking me to challenge somebody?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, you're probably getting Jamie on here, right?
Well, he hasn't answered me, little shit.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I thought for sure he'd be joining you on this.
But you know what? If I tried to get him to do the ALS challenge one year and he didn't respond to that either. So
yeah,
we got some feedback. Phil Collins, Land of Confusion.
There you go.
That is it. Nice.
With
nice pull. Okay. Leave it to Phil Collins song, Land of Confusion.
You, people got way better.
Okay, now
to be fair, those two fuckers are younger than us, so
okay, and
you got a couple more years, you shits, and you're gonna be losing your memory like that.
So I've texted with him here and there on Facebook every once in a while, but you know who I want to hear from, honestly? And he and I were such good friends through junior high school and early in high school, and we played football together and stuff. But because I already know you're getting Deshaun Burns, and I have a story about that before you get that man on here.
Yeah.
But I would like to hear from Dana Holskeneck, and here's why.
Absolutely.
There is nobody I can think of that travels around the world as much as that guy.
I know.
I see all these, the food that he eats.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear his story.
Yeah, I'd like to hear Dana's story. But I know I think you said you're getting Deshaun Burns on here. Is that true?
Well, he said he's committed to it. He hasn't given us a time or date, but yeah, he's committed. Some other people that we're already looking at. I probably shouldn't call out their name, but I guess I can't. Because next week we got two that are coming up, and one of the things I think we were going to try to do is start giving let people guessing who's coming up next, right? who's coming up next and whatnot. But everybody right now is pretty much Rubido. You know, there's some people that are interested from 88 to or 87 to 88. I would like to expand that. I mean, we're starting where we're at.
Kurt's in 89.
Right.
89, yeah. So
my little brother will probably come on here.
yeah, and we got we got there's a lot of people that are out there.
Oh, Ted, you got Ted coming on too?
Some people that are really very interesting stories. And you know,
I've got friends from out here in Tennessee that I've worked with. I'd like to get them to the point.
And we talked.
Oh yeah, I would keep. Yeah, I wouldn't just have people from high school on here.
Yeah.
No, I think it's everybody Gen X is what our vision, right? But we know that this is a good start to where we're at. We start where we're most familiar, and then we build something that is generically can expand out.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you get Deshaun on, I hope he sees this, and if not, you can remind him and tell him I said this. So, I played junior tackle football with Deshaun.
Yeah.
And so the Hoopa Steelers and stuff. Well, I want to say it was like my third year, and we had two different teams. You had the A team, B team, whatever. Yeah. And you know, Deshaun, his was like the A team, and of course it had Kurt Pyson and Huerta, and anybody that was good was on that team, and then everybody who was not good was on the other team, my team. And so one time, I'm only putting this out there because every mistake that I made in high school and growing up, I blame on Deshaun, and I'll tell you why. So we're playing Deshaun. So Team A is playing Team B in a scrimmage, and Deshaun, I mean, he was physically 5 years older than everybody else. And so he ends up catching a pass. I think I was playing safety. He ends up catching a pass over the middle, and he's coming right up the middle, and it's just he and I. Yeah. And I square up because I've got him dead to rights, and he mowed me over like, dude, I was paper mache, and rightfully so, because he probably outweighed me by 80 pounds. And I ended up with a concussion when we didn't actually pay attention to concussions back then. It was like, I just remember my bell was wrong, seeing stars, massive headache, and coach is like, all right, go back in there. Meanwhile, my brain's in there floating bouncing from side to side off the inside of my skull. And so, yeah, I think that every mistake that I made in high school in the early parts of my life was as a result of the concussion I suffered from Deshaun Burns.
Well, we're going to drop a video or a couple of videos from our chat with Tom Cochran earlier, and I didn't quite go to that extent, but Coach Brohard put me on scout team defensive nose tackle against John Cotton and Tom Cochran my sophomore junior year, and it wasn't an enjoyable thing. And then he followed that up after I think maybe a week or two later, put me as a cornerback against Lamont Lewis, who I literally dislocated my shoulder chasing down after he just burnt the shit out of me. The guy was like, let's take the slowest guy on the team and put him against the fastest. I
remember, a story about Brohard. I remember being on that scout squad, them handing me the ball. We had to run the same left sweep like 25 times in a row. John Cotton, all of the defensive line, all knowing exactly where we were going. There was no way through it, and we were just going to get our asses kicked. But then I also switched over to on the defensive side, and I remember Brohard, besides putting me in the ice bucket, I remember plugging a hole that Trevor Moore was supposed to be going through. He'd show up in his whites, and he was all pristine and all this other stuff. And I put my helmet on him, right? I came through, plugged the hole, and put my helmet right in the middle of his chest, and knocked and bam, crack. You could hear the crack across and I remember him run. So I don't even remember who it was that came over, but I got physically lifted out of the air and slammed on the ground, and then spittle coming down in my face, yelling, just screaming at me for hitting him that way. You're like, what? And I'm like, oh, okay, don't do that anymore.
So hopefully Sean gets to see this, because when he comes on, I'm really looking forward to
Yeah,
the
him concussing you
reply.
and ruining
Yeah.
your high school,
And then we're all gonna need, everybody that's watching and everybody that watches this needs to just start hammering Dana's
Yeah.
Yeah, and who else would it be good to hear from? The Atkins sisters, Becky or Angie, those sisters. Get some, gals on here that they were really good in school. To kind of see where they went.
yeah, we definitely.
I think I like to hear from Matt Cole. I think Matt Colburn would be good. Eric Hammond. Eric Hammond.
I
would be
saw
cool.
Eric Hammond a few months ago. Well, gosh, probably over a year. Yeah, it's been over a year ago at my niece's wedding.
Okay.
And it was cool. I got to see Eric and
I would
and
like to
Kurt.
hear from Billy Bettinger. He went into law enforcement too. And there's
did
a
he?
story about that. He pulled me over on El Camino or Camino Real and gave me a break.
Wow.
I think I blew a stop sign or something down there, and he pulled me over and gave me a break. I wonder if he remembers that.
Hey Todd, you know Jason Hartley?
Yeah,
The name sounds very familiar.
yeah, I know. I remember him. Yeah,
You remember Jason
Yeah.
Hartley? He'd be interesting. He's
he would too. Yeah, and we're all mentioning guys, but I know.
No. I said, like I said, that I think any of the women from who we
Dom
went to school with.
Lopez. I know
because
Dom
they
was
hear-
on, and I'd love to hear from her. I'm trying to encourage. They seem to be a little less wanting to come in, and some of them are expressing it. But I try to encourage them. I say, you can come in as a group.
Well, we
too.
do have a
Yeah.
female coming in.
Yeah, we do have it one. Coming in next week. I mean, we can mention it. It's Penny Ramirez is coming in,
Yeah.
and then Ted Lipka. So next week we're going to be doing Ted Lipka and Penny.
Was Penny? Was that her?
Penny Fields.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her current last name is Ramirez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we like more. I know I've talked to Lisa and Kim, Lisa Wyrick and her best friend Kim. Yeah. And then, so, I've had quite a few people that have expressed interest, and it's now just logistics, making sure we get them scheduled to come in. And honestly, even if we overlap like, hey, who would you like to come in? It doesn't always have to be just one person. We
Right.
could sit down with 7 or 8 people, and we can kind of organize everybody and everybody share their stories, because this is really supposed to be like a little bit of a reunion.
Yeah.
And we want.
What you can do is once you get some people on, like you were saying earlier, then you could just start, putting little groups together.
Yeah, little groups. Well, when we talked to Tom this morning, when we talked to Tom Cochran this morning, he talked about his because he mentioned that he had cancer, and some of his experiences with that. I think it would be great to have on that subject matter a focus group just on that. Right.
Sure.
And even like getting a group of the law enforcement guys together, right? Like, here's a shared experience with you guys. How'd you all end up there? Right. There would be other kind of stories that would be interesting around that. Those that followed their path of sports, right? And getting in these groups together. So yeah, we definitely want to do more than just one-on-ones, but also just groups.
Yeah, you had mentioned some of the memoriam stuff. I believe did Joey Gorey, did he pass away?
Who is that?
Joey Gorey.
Joey Gorey.
I'm not sure.
Chad, anybody? Did you hear that? Joey Gorey.
I think he did.
Yeah.
Him and Joe Birdsall were good friends.
Yeah.
Played basketball
we
together.
really need to get our group together, because I haven't seen a comprehensive list, right?
Yeah, and anyways, the reason I bring it up is maybe get.
It would be nice to have a comprehensive list of the people that we've lost over the years, and well, yeah, Kim and Lisa, they said, Angelo, who has also said that he's interested in coming on, 89, Angelo how do you say it? Tomaselli. I met him. Yeah, Tomaselli. Him and I talked quite a bit, and he said he's interested in coming on. He hasn't committed to a date, but he's saying that don't talk to Lisa and Kim together. That's going to be trouble. So I think they would be a good. That's they both kind of agreed. And just as a shout out for Kim, she contacted me, and she does want us. She does want our anybody in Rubidoux that's going to be in the area to come in on the homecoming and have an event. She's planning something. She's in the middle of talks with the RHS, and from that, we want to do a scholarship kind of thing. So she's talking about that. So the details are going to come in, but I know she's asked me to get involved with that, and there's been quite a few people in on that one thread from the Rubidoux alumni that would be that I mean, because it's a pretty large group that are interested in that. So we'll use this channel to kind of mention it. Eric's brother, I think so. James Russo, be good.
I'm telling you, I think we need to have the shout outs and
yeah, we're gonna keep on having the shout outs.
Yeah, there's tons. Anthony Pryor would be cool.
Oh, they're saying Joey did pass. Joey did.
Yeah, he did.
What's his last name?
Garay.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we have a date?
That one girlfriend we were talking about? Yeah, he stole them from me.
Oh,
he stole it from me.
Oh my God. Joey.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he did.
And I don't know the search on it, but what I was gonna say is that Joe Birdsall, and he and I chatted back and forth a while back, but he and Joey were really good friends. They played basketball together.
Yeah.
And he's got I think it's just a blog that he posts all the time, reference his own personal journey and fitness and stuff.
Yeah.
But he might be an interesting guy, just kind of his history.
Okay, what university didn't he go on to UCR?
Who?
To play? Joey Garay.
Don't know.
That would be interesting.
I don't know.
I think Joey
I didn't talk to him after his locker blew up.
Yeah. Let's not mention the blowing up. If my dad's watching this, he's still going to be pretty sore about that.
Oh, I don't know anything about that. I just know that something happened to this guy's locker.
A little shit bomb going on, huh? Yeah. So yeah, I'd be interested. I think he did go on, and I think it's an interesting story because my wife. I think he hit on my wife at one point. My because she was a cheerleader for UCR.
Oh.
And knew Joey. Well, which is odd because we have the common girl.
I had to get up. Sorry, I've got 3 bosses here in my house. I've got my wife, and then I've got 2 big dogs that literally just boss me around.
Joey Garay, that's
no
Eric's brother. Eric Hammond's brother?
Yes, it is.
Oh, are they seriously?
Yes. They are.
I did not know that.
Yes.
I may have known it, but I probably forgot it.
Eric, well, why? And so different dads? Are they like stepbrothers or?
Yeah, I think they're either half or step, something like that.
Oh, hey, he played basketball at Rubidoux along with Joey Birdsall. Yeah. No, I know that. I know what his career at Rubidoux was. Bill and I have a similar connection to Joey Garay.
I mean, I played basketball in junior high school with Joey.
Yeah.
And
Joey went into law enforcement. How did he pass away, Kurt?
Oh, I didn't know he went into law enforcement.
Yeah.
Kurt's pretty well tied in with a lot of people.
Yeah.
He is. He's still in the area though, too.
Yeah.
And he is still there.
He does DJing too. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, we probably ought to wrap this
up. We're gonna wrap this up.
Wrap it up because God, man, I'm old and I gotta pee. That's a lot of coffee I was drinking.
So those that are sharing, I put the link up in the on the live chat. So if you haven't joined our Facebook group, the GenX Detention Club, please do so. We are going to post this later, and just remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. None of it costs you anything, but it's going to show us support and help us with our algorithm and get it out there. And I will be posting those here shortly. I appreciate everybody being on and sharing this time with Bill. Bill, I want to thank you for taking the leap with us. I really appreciate you, the candor.
Oh, you bet. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and we would have you back, and I mean, if we can convince Jamie and other law enforcement officers to come on and maybe discuss the shared experience between all of you guys, it'd be kind of cool to hear some of those stories.
Yeah.
And go from there. So,
Yeah.
oh, he had just as a note, Joey had cancer.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so yeah. Really appreciate everybody on live coming in and joining us. And you guys take care. And please comment on our videos and how we're doing. We want to improve this. Things we may have asked. Yeah, the things we could have asked and approached differently. And we'll go from there. Bill, you have a great night. And,
you too.
And really appreciate you coming on with us again.
Yeah. Thanks.
Appreciate you guys having me. I hope I didn't bore everybody.
No,
Not at all.
Yeah. All right, brother.
Good combo.
Yeah.
All right,